Heartwarming Evil by Torfrazor. Chapter 13. The Beginning of Harmony. What's that? Rainbow Dash staggered up behind Fluttershy Twilight Sparkle, still more asleep than awake. Not for the first time, Twilight wondered if Rainbow Dash simply roared as he rolled out of bed as her normal mane. I said I think we're where we need to be. Twilight glanced back at Clover's map to double-check once more. How do you feel about flying up there to make sure? The prospect of flying woke Rainbow Dash up where Twilight's preferred method. Copious amounts of coffee would have struggled. Flying? Do I want to go flying? Do you want to cast magic? Rainbow Dash left a few feet in the air in excitement. Hang on, I'll be back before you know it was gone. Hold up there! Twilight punctuated her words, surrounding Rainbow Dash in a straight magical field. Do you even know what you're looking for up there? No. Rainbow Dash slowly settled back into the ground. Got something in that fancy book of yours, like some sort of guide to everything you need to know about magically sealed caves, but were afraid to ask? Not exactly. Twilight very carefully removed Clever to draw on. But I do have this map, which you do need to treat like it's made out of spun glass because it's well over 1,000 years old, and you're probably going to want a coat. Have you noticed that it's pretty cold out? Pegasus deals well with cold, remember? Rainbow Dash preened. Well, Twilight said, this close to their prison, the Wendigos can affect the weather quite a bit. I'm pretty sure that when you're up there at their front door, it's going to be cold, even for you. So, go ahead and take a coat. Rarity can keep Fluttershy warm with a warming charm, and if this works, we probably won't need to worry too much about coats on the way back. And if it doesn't work, we'll be a bit too dead to worry, right? Rainbow Dash flew back to her tent. She was trailed out back by a clearly just woken Applejack. Whew, it's cold! Applejack stirred slightly before tugging her cloak close. Like, is the sun up there, rat? Wendigos, Rainbow Dash said bluntly. Go knock on their front door. Then we can kick it in and beat them up so badly they'll never show their faces around here again. Actually, let's beating them up and magically resealing them. Twilight pointed out in a very academic manner. I'm not really sure you can hit a Wendigo as such. If you somehow manage it, I'm pretty sure you just come away with a nasty case of frostbite. Now get going, Rainbow Dash. Even without the Wendigos, the weather can be pretty sketchy this high in the mountains, and I'd rather be gone before the afternoon storm starts brewing. Brewing? Oh, we're brewing something. Things must have been dire indeed for Rarity to show her face, without going through extensive routines he insisted on, even while trafficking through the wilderness. Let's brew out some fun! Piggy Pie came bouncing out behind her, made somehow bouncing into his normal shape as he went. I wonder if the Wendigos like to have fun. I've never tried to make friends with a winter spirit before, so I'm sure it'll be fun just trying. Rainbow Dash, Twilight said under her breath. Go. Go now. Right! Rainbow Dash saluted flamboyantly, before flying off with a rush of snow behind her. Okay, maybe it is getting a little cold up here, Rainbow Dash admitted to herself as she flew towards the cave Twilight had pointed out to her. Jeez, don't these Wendigos have anything better to do than make things cold? Free from having to trudge through the snow, still with her own prodigious talents, it didn't take Rainbow Dash that long at all to fly to the mouth of the cave. Even before she set hoof on the snow outside, she knew this was the place. The air practically hummed with magic that Clover the Clever used to seal the Wendigos inside. Not to mention, Twilight had been stating it lightly when she said it would be cold. Rainbow Dash could feel her eyelids trying to freeze shut with every blink. At least I don't have to stay here. The air in front of Rainbow Dash turned nearly solid with steam as she spoke to herself. Just have to remember to remind everyone that we need to cast a spell in a hurry if we don't want to be ice statues up here. Rainbow Dash spread her wings and prepared to take back off. But before she could ascend, she felt a familiar, sickening magic, and the world disappeared around her. The world around her was similar to what she and the others had been subjugated to when Sombra tried to break their spirits. It was similar, but somehow different. Different enough, in fact, that Rainbow Dash knew from the start she was inside a magical illusion. Hopefully Fluttershy and the others were walking up the mountain after her, and would be able to get her out of this. Having nothing better to do, and no intention of playing along with Sombra's little game, Rainbow Dash walked over to a rather grim-looking bench, and sat down to await her friends. The buildings surrounding her weren't nearly so comically villainous as the ones for the previous illusion. True, they were clearly built to intimidate and to create a depressing atmosphere. But Rainbow Dash could see someone actually building this city. A very twisted someone, perhaps, but a real pony living in the world she inhabited nonetheless. First, Rainbow Dash didn't notice anything to separate Pony approaching her from the shadowy figures moving along the fake street. It was only as the pony actually near her that Rainbow Dash recognized her as Lightning Dust. But it was a lightning dust she had never seen. Normally, lightning dust had arrogance and pride for 10 ponies. This lightning dust, though, slunk along the ground meekly enough to make Fluttershy look like the very picture of self-confidence. Lightning Dash, Lightning Dust stammered in a simpering voice Rainbow Dash never thought she'd hear. The daily reports are waiting for you in your office. I also brought in that cake of cider you ordered, plus the armor, distributed your flyers to your fan club, and I made sure your tears were nice and puffy, those clots you always like. Rainbow Dash looked at Lightning Dust trembling on the ground and started laughing. Yeah, sure, whatever. Rainbow Dash managed to choke out. Listen, this is a very nice fancy world you're all living in, but I'm kind of in a hurry to get back to the real world so I can make sure your boss ends up with about as much spine as you have. I'm not sure what you mean, Lady Dash. Lightning Dust never looked at anyone with such wide, helpless eyes, not even when Twilight Sparkle had torn her apart. Please don't punish me. I promise I'll work every day and night until I can tend to your every need. Just shut up. Rainbow Dash was getting fed up with this illusion in a hurry. And go bother someone else. I'm waiting for some actually real ponies, and you're just annoying me. Rainbow Dash had never seen Lightning Dust bow to anyone, much less kowtow deeply enough to eat dirt with every step. Finally alone again, Rainbow Dash sat there waiting for her friend to arrive. Her wait was short, however, as he felt more than saw another presence coming. Unlike the mockery of Lightning Dust, this presence seemed vastly more solid. The sky itself seemed to have darkened as a cloud black as pitch began to seep up from between the paving stones. Even knowing that none of this was real, Rainbow Dash had to fight a powerful instinct from the most private part of her brain to flee this evil. The cloud suit towered over her. From its depths, a face eventually emerged. A face born of Rainbow Dash's nightmares, and that of every other pony. Sombra! Rainbow Dash forced out. He couldn't really be here. Otherwise, she would be dead. But Rainbow Dash knew that she was really speaking with the traitor, threatening to end pony kindness' mad quest for power. Her only response was a deep rumble that seemed to pass through her. No, that wasn't quite correct. As the rumble made its way through her, Rainbow Dash somehow found a certain meaning in it. Sombra was impressed with her making it this far, but she and her friends could never hope to defeat him. He would rend them apart with his dark magic if they dared to try and open the Wendigo's cave. Oh, really? Rainbow Dash fell back on her normal prickliness. 'Cause we already got through all your other traps just fine, and we know how to steal Wendigos for good. Wanna know what I think this is? I think this is just your last pathetic attempt to talk us out of stomping in your face so hard you'll fly right down past the Tartarus and find out where it is that they said ponies too bad for even them. A rush of hate and anger she felt nearly staggered Rainbow Dash. She saw her friends, insides splayed out, and the looks of unfathomable agony on their faces. In their eyes, Rainbow Dash somehow knew their last moments had been spent pleading for her help. Help that had never come. She saw the ponies of Ponyville being tortured by means too horrible to even think about, all the while having their very souls consumed by Sombra. There's something underneath it all, an invitation to spare herself the pain by joining him. We get it! Rainbow Dash grit her teeth as the words came out. You're not a nice pony, and you want everyone to know it. You know, I think you're just crazy enough to think that you really did fight Celestia and Luna. If you see them on your way down past the Tartarus, tell them to kick you one last time. The next rush of hate and anger brought Rainbow Dash to her knees. She saw and felt two ponies that were incomprehensibly beyond her. One, white coat with a mane that seemed to shimmer like the sky itself, blazed with a fury that felt like the raw sun. The other, dark as the dark blue coats, with a mane that held the night sky, and a vastness of power that really seemed like the endless expanse of midnight. And there, on the ground, surrounded by a miasma that made what she thought was Luna seem bright by comparison, was Sombra. Rainbow Dash barely knew the first thing about unicorn magic, but even she knew Twilight Sparkle would struggle on her best day to equal the spells of the three ponies cast. Well, Rainbow Dash says he struggled back to her host. Celestia Luna beat you once, and we're going to do it again. And guess what? I'm going to be one of the ponies that beats you! Rainbow Dash suddenly found herself standing in front of the Wendigo's cave, shouting into thin air. She felt her joints crack as she forced herself to carry cautious steps, like she hadn't fallen off a cliff wall in Sombra's illusion. Rainbow Dash! Applejack had quite the set of lungs. You still alive up there? Yeah! Rainbow Dash found her voice a bit creaky. Yeah! This is the right place! The others struggled up the last incline and ran as much as they could to where she was standing. Are you alright, darling? Rudy started poking at her with buffaloes and horn. Twilight and I could feel the dreadful magic from all the way down in our tents. I'm fine. Rainbow Dash brushed Rarity's hose aside. We're probably gonna want to hurry, though. I'm pretty sure I was talking to Sabra, the real Sabra, and I think he was trying to get me to join him. And I kind of told him to jump in the lake. Anyways, I think he knows we're here, so he's probably on his way, and none too happy. Right. Twilight said in an unflappably businesslike manner. Rarity, I'll need to use your magic to bring down the seal. The rest of you, the seal is made with only unicorn magic, so you won't be able to help until it's time to build a new one. Twilight and Rarity walked to the very mouth of the cave and began to cast magic. The seal came down with far less magic than it should have taken. Twilight knew she needed to concentrate, but she couldn't help but worry about what was going on back in New Unicornia to weaken the seal this much. Suddenly, there was a rush of cold and power that made each of them shiver. Shields down. Twilight waved them close. The windows aren't going to take long to figure out they can leave, so let's do this and be done. Twilight started to reach out to each of the other 5 ponies when a wall of black crystal erupted at the mouth of the cave. From that wall of crystal came the same cloud of blackness that Rainbow Dash recently faced down. There came the single word as a horribly misshapen face of King Sombra emerged. Lyra sat at the window, watching the road more trail readily, leaning forwards rather than from the evergreen forest. Waiting to see if they're back? Bonbon walked up behind her with a steaming cup of tea. Yep, Lyra said. If they didn't lose any more time going through the forest, and they didn't have to do any real searching in the mountains, then this should be the earliest they should be making it back. And please say that tea is for me. It feels more like the first week of winter than the first week of summer. No way. Bonbon stuck out her tongue. Get your own tea. I hope they make it back soon, though. The weather is really worrying me. Like you said, it should be the start of summer. It should actually be hot out there for the next few weeks. Twilight Sparkle said the seal in the Wendigo's cave would start failing in a hurry if we fought a civil war. I'm starting to worry she was right. We better not freeze to death in the summer. I turned away from the window. I still owe Octavia a new cello. Not that I'm going to have the wood for it anytime soon. Not the way with rebuilding is going to go up all the timber around here. Speaking of wood, Bonbon got way too much pleasure out of enjoying the cheesy denied Lyra. I was talking to the ponies who are in charge of drawing up plans for the town. I guess they decided that since Simmer did so much demolition work for them, they might as well take advantage of it to do some better urban planning. Anyways, they said if we'd like them to rebuild that oak tree, they'll be more than happy to do it for us. Might still take a while, but looks like we might really have a home here. Hey, Lyra smiled at Bonbon. I don't care if we have to sleep on the castle floor every night for the next 20 years. As long as we're both here, I'm more than happy to call this place home. Bonbon smiled back. Glad to hear that. But I'm totally going to tell them to go ahead and rebuild it for us. Oh, if you're getting tired of the castle, Derpy, Doctor, Final, and Octavia all offered to let us stay with them for as long as it takes. Didn't they say they already had ponies move in with them who lost their homes? Before Bonbon could reply to Lyra's question, there came a racket from down the hall. They both paused to stick their heads out to see what it was all about. All they saw was the back end of a number of ponies rushing towards the front door. Let's go see what it is. Lyra grabbed Bonbon, who merely held on to her tea, and started running after them. The cause of the commotion appeared to be a small band of ponies approaching the gates. Normally such an occurrence would have gone completely unnoticed. However, Sunset Simmer's attack had the whole town on edge, and with New Unicornia plunging into civil war, strangers were no longer to be trusted. Of course, Lyra thought upon seeing the new ponies. There weren't many ways that two fillies, an elderly pony, would cause the town any harm. The only thing immediately off about the group was that one of the fillies was a unicorn, while the other two were earth ponies. Lyra hadn't known anyone besides Twilight Sparkle and been trying to get the tribes to work together. Should have known I'd find you two out here. They approached Bean in shining armor to the top of the wall. At least you don't look very dangerous. Hey, they look colder and hungrier than you did when you arrived. Niall jumped at a commotion a little ways down the wall. Shining Armor's horn began to shine with killing spells, while even Lyra made ready with a little defensive magic she knew. They deflated in relief, however, when the commotion was revealed to simply be Derpy and Scootaloo, who had been one of those ponies moved in with Derpy due to the losing of her home and parents.
Sorry!
Derpy shook off the dust he accumulated while casting.
Scootaloo wanted to see who was coming to town, and I was paying more attention to them than I was to landing.
By now, the approaching ponies were close enough that I was on the wall were able to start making them out. Bon Bon. Lyra grabbed the other pony. That unicorn filly. Doesn't she look familiar? Not really. Bon Bon shrugged her shoulders. But unicorns weren't exactly common customers at my store. Why, have you seen her somewhere? Call me crazy, Lyra said, but she looks like portraits of Rarity's little sister. Maybe. Shining Armor, who was standing close enough to easily overheard every word, leaned over the top of the wall. Twilight did say she had hidden Sleigh Bells somewhere in Platinum City. Who would ever think to look for a unicorn princess in Dirtville? But her things are half as bad as it sounds like they're getting, so I can understand why they want to get her out.
Aren't you all go open up for some cold hunger bonus?
The elder grey earth pony paused just in front of the gates. The Shining Armor signaled, the gates slowly creaked open. Lyra, Bon Bon, and Shining Armor raced down the stairs, followed by Derpy and Scootaloo.
That's definitely her!
Lyra skidded to a stop.
That's Sleigh Bell!
The filly's eyes went wide with fear before Shining Armor stepped forward. Don't worry, Your Highness. I'm Twilight Sparkle's older brother, Shining Armor. She said that she'd been looking out for you, and I'll make sure that you're all taken care of.
I only made out of Dirtville because of that sister of yours,
The elder green earth pony said.
Wasn't for that bag of piss you gave us and those guards who still have their own mother, we'd still be waiting in that city to get scooped up. You were all to hell, but it was still close. Big Man City catch up to us when those other guards show up. But I don't think he's coming anymore.
All three new ponies suddenly had tears welling up in their eyes. Lyra could only guess that there had been a fourth member of their group who hadn't made it. Oh, don't you dare kill Big Mac. Is it really that bad in the city? Shining Armor asked.
Worse, came the reply. All districts of Dirtville are getting cleaned out at a time. Unicorn guards went down the streets killing any earth pony you feel like, and the rest of us can't do a thing. This rate going, won't be an earth pony left in Platinum City by winter.
That explains why things were going so well elsewhere. Shining Armor put a plate of foot to his chin. Sombra really is putting exterminating the earth ponies ahead of winning the war. Anyway, let's get some food in you. It won't be much, and it's pretty cramped quarters in here, but at least it's safe. Lyra looked at Bon Bon, who looked back plainly agreed that they'd be dead by now, if they hadn't escaped Platinum City when they had. They started walking back to the castle, Shining Armor having set Derpy ahead to ask for a meal to be prepared for the new arrivals. On the way, Lyra saw something that restored her severely battered faith in ponykind. Scootaloo, Sleigh Bell, and the third filly, Applebloom she thought the name was, were running around and playing together long before they even reached the air town. Oh! My heart!
It makes you wish we could all get along that well, doesn't it?
Bon Bon leaned in to ask. Yeah. Lyra leaned in back to her. Maybe one of these days, it'll really happen. No one needed to shout at them to dodge Sombra's attack. No one needed to shout at them to attack in their turn. No one needed to remind them how pressed for time they were. With the seal down, they had to defeat Sombra, reseal its Wendigos in a matter of minutes, or all ponykind would perish in eternal winter. Twilight neatly sidestepped a crystal lance meant to impale her, lit her own horn with deadly magic. She'd been waiting all this time with a burning desire for revenge, after Sombra so easily humiliated her back in Platinum City. It was time to see how he liked being treated, the magically inferior one. Rainbow Dash! Fluttershy! Twilight shouted, Get up in the air and make him focus on more directions. That quickly proved to be a good idea, as it appeared that Sombra could only create dark crystals out of the ground. Attacking Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy the old way meant taking his attention off the ponies on the ground. Unfortunately, Twilight and the others quickly discovered Sombra remained as incorporeal as ever. Disrupting his gaseous body seemed to annoy him, but they needed to kill or permanently incapacitate him, not annoy him. Any pony have any ideas? Twilight skated to a stop after dodging yet another crystal assault. I did the song and dance routine with him back in Platinum City, and it didn't work. Any response to Twilight's question was interrupted by Sombra's next attack. The mountainside erupted with black crystals that launched towards the 6 ponies. Verity and Twilight Sparkle quickly threw up a shield, behind which they huddled along with Pinkie Pie and Applejack, while Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy took to the skies. Die! At least Sombra was staying consistent with his few words. Let's try buzzing its face in! Rainbow Dash shouted as he flew around above them. It's the only part of him that even seems halfway solid. Maybe we can hurt it. Good plans, Andy, Applejack muttered, as he proceeded to try it out by picking up a shattered crystal and bucking it at Sombra's face. It seemed to annoy him far more, perhaps even causing real pain. Anywhere else Twilight could have called a plan that to run with. They would simply put him in enough pain to see too much to keep attacking them. But here, playing for all the marbles, Sombra wouldn't let him know something like excruciating pain to stop him. They needed a way to put him down for good. He also seemed to get angrier and angrier as he kept pelting his vulnerable face. The next few minutes were all hectic dodging and the occasions of bolt of light or a little crystal flying back across the mountain. The 6 of them worked as a team better than Twilight had dared hope. She and Rarity were able to take the blunt of Sombra's attacks with their shields. Pinkie Pie and Applejack kept up constant streams of fire from the numerous crystals strewing the mountainside. The Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash were able to distract Sombra or pick up a pony who needed moving in a hurry. Die! Twilight smirked. Sombra wasn't staying his intentions. He was raging at them. If he lost his concentration, they might find a way to actually hurt him. We have to hurry, Twilight! Rarity shouted over an ice-filled gust of wind. The Windigos are going to escape any time now if we don't stop them! Tell that to him! Twilight shouted back as he rolled away from a plethora of needle-like crystals sprouting where she'd been. I think he'd rather we all freeze before he lost. Behind the black crystals covering the entrance to the Wendigo's cave, Twilight thought she could almost see their ghostly silhouettes pounding down Sombra's barrier. Verity was right. The Wendigos knew their cave was open, and they were eager to make up for a lost time, covering the world in eternal winter. Then Sombra tried a new trick to have them all dodging for their lives. He created a huge number of crystal spikes in the ground and launched them into the air, where they would come down was anyone's guess, and all the while he was hitting them with everything else in his considerable arsenal. Twilight wished she could have said that she was surprised. It was Fluttershy who got hit first. The Pegasus was the kindest pony she knew, talented in many things. Combat, however, was at the very bottom of the list. If anything, Twilight was surprised to see it take it as long as it had for a lump of crystal to have a high-speed collision with Verity, with Fluttershy. Fluttershy! Rainbow Dash took off after her friend. Despite her best efforts, Rainbow Dash couldn't weave her way between Sombra's crystal attack before Fluttershy hit the snow-covered ground. Still racing towards her fallen friend, Rainbow Dash almost impaled herself on the crystal cage that erupted around Fluttershy's prone form as she hit the ground. Rainbow Dash started to kick and pound the cage, but she might have been pounding at the mountain for all the good she did. Twilight! Rainbow Dash shouted. Get over here! Sombra's doing something to her! Twilight awkwardly jumped and tossed her way between the forest of crystal stars littering the ground. She got over to Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, just to see Fluttershy encased in a dark yet somehow translucent crystal coating. What the hey? Twilight pried over Fluttershy with her magical senses. I don't know, Rainbow Dash. I could try to blast it off, but there's no guarantee Fluttershy doesn't get help. Doesn't get caught in it. Rainbow Dash let out a wordless scream of anger as she kicked at Fluttershy's prison. As soon as her host touched the smooth crystal encasing Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash found herself stuck to her friend, with that same crystal crawling up her legs. Twilight! Help! Rainbow Dash struggled against her encroaching prison. Hang on! Twilight grabbed a hold of her and pulled. The crystal growing over Rainbow Dash didn't so much as crack. Rainbow Dash, Twilight started throwing every spell she could think of at the crystal that went and fell cutting through Rainbow Dash, but to no avail. Twilight only let go of the gas when the crystal crept up to hold that she was still pulling on. Girls, don't touch that crystal! Twilight turned around only to let out a moan of despair. Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie were all trapped in their own crystal presence, with the looks of alarm on their faces. From the looks of things, they'd been trying to reach Fluttershy as well, but hadn't made it. The black form of Sombra rose from the ground in front of her. Die, slave! Twilight tried to warn towards him, only to find her own hose rooted to the ground by the crystal making its way up her body. The feeling was horrible. It was like ice and death and every bad memory she ever had. Looking at her friends, Twilight realized there was an alarm on their faces. It was terror. She knew it would never work, but Twilight nevertheless tried to cast Clover's spell. If she could contract the Wendigos, and her brother could defeat Sombra's forces, then New Unicornia? No. Equestria would have hope. Just as she known, Twilight couldn't even start the spell on her own. With Sombra's triumphant laughter still in her ears, the crystal began to climb up her horn, and her doom approached. If only she had been stronger. Then it hit Twilight. It wasn't brute strength that defeated the evil. It was the little things. It was kindness like Fluttershy reaching out to that Ursa Major, or how she always taken the time to look out for other ponies on their trip. It was honesty like Applejack, always speaking her mind, unless he had been the one see through Sombra's lies in the swamp. It was generosity like Rarity giving Applejack her coat, or even when she prepared to burn herself out to help others. It was laughter like Pinkie Pie, helping them laugh off the terror Sombra had tried to destroy them with, or how she always been there to put a smile on their faces this whole time. And it was loyalty like Rainbow Dash sticking by Fluttershy, even when she could have gone further on her own, or else he'd thrown Sombra's all for her power back in his face. Right, I think you guys know when it's time for cue the badass insert song. You know it's coming. Twilight realized it, as Crystal began to close around the very tip of her horn. That was the magic she needed all along. That was the spark she needed. Rarity's magic rushing to her was nearly as familiar as her own, but it was joined by others that Twilight never felt. Only as he started to weave together the Clover Lover's last spell, they realized it was Pegasus and Earth Pony magic flowing through her. The rest of power through her horn was truly unbelievable. Twilight's eyes glowed a brilliant white with bottomless energy as she felt the countless threads of magic come together and knit the very fabric of reality. As the magic reached its crescendo, Twilight thought she heard at the very edge of her senses twin cries of defeat. Then it was over. Taste the rainbow, motherfucker. Twilight staggered on her newly free hooves. It took a moment for her to register that her husband had even encased in Sombra's crystal, along with the rest of her. You guys know what this needed? This needed the elements of harmony to burst forth from the tree of harmony and latch onto each one of their tests. In a panic, she looked about for Sombra as the next attack. He was nowhere to be found. In fact, the mountainside was completely free of the carpet of black crystals their fight had left. Twilight! Twilight was tackled by Rarity's diving hug. So very certain that several other ponies were on top of her. You did it! We did it, girls! Twilight could only see Rarity's face at the bottom of the pile, but she knew the others could hear her. When I realized how special you are all to me, I just felt it click. It was like grabbing your magic and weaving that spell was the easiest thing in the world. Well, where's Sombra? Applejack's voice accompanied the lightning of the pile. I think he's in there. Twilight couldn't point to the cave. With the Wendigos. Clover's spell was designed to trap incorporeal beings like the Wendigos. I think Sombra had actually transcended his physical body enough to get caught up in it. Well, they certainly deserve each other. Rarity voiced what they were all thinking. So, what happens now? Girls? They all turned to see a very worried Rainbow Dash standing over a still prone Fluttershy. I can't feel my wings. Fluttershy's speech made Twilight sigh with relief. For a terrible second she thought Fluttershy was dead. The Fluttershy's words processed, and Twilight found terror again. They all ran over to where Fluttershy had been lying. Just the look made Twilight want to throw up. Fluttershy's wings were at such an awkward angle It was clear only flesh was still holding onto her body, even if they had been standing in front of the best hospital in Platinum City. She would likely never have flown again. Out here, almost 2 weeks from civilization.
It's okay.
First, I said with more serenity to what I thought possible.
It actually doesn't hurt. And I never flew that often. I guess now I'll be able to work with the animals just like I wanted.
Twilight numbly collected their belongings with the long trip back. Behind her, Firefly slowly got to her feet with Rainbow Dash's help. If Firefly had been able to walk, well, Twilight decided to count her blessings. They won, but the cost.